Hey everyone, welcome to another walkthrough video of Excel Wonders. We're going to look at Calendar Template Pro. This is an upgrade from the free calendar template we have on our website. When you open the file, you should be able to see this table right here. This is a table that contains all the records that ultimately you'll be able to visualize in each of the calendars here on the left. And this table has 5 columns. The first one is called Name. You can use this Excel file for anything. You can use it to list out events, special dates, people, which is what I use it for, or anything that you can put a date on. So for example, here, I can select a date and I can change, for example, the date of this specific record from February 26. Imagine I want to change to February 21. I click on it, it opens a new date picker, and then February 21, confirm, and it's changed. And then you have 3 other columns. These are completely custom columns. You can change them and adapt them to whatever you want. Because I'm using this for people, I decided to call this first one gender, the second one education, and the third one number of years voting. But if you go here on settings, you can change the labels to whatever you want, and you can deselect them as well. So for example, if I don't want to see education, I go back to list of contacts and that column disappeared. If I go back to settings and I enable them, it's back on. And finally, what you can do here is to manage this table and add, edit, or remove records however you want. So for example, we can add a new record. It adds a new row. We can move it around. We can actually sort it as well. Let's, for example, sort it by name, but you can choose any of the other columns in the table. And you can delete. You select on the record you want to delete, and you delete it. Done. Now let's look at annual calendar. Annual calendar is a visualization of all the months within a specific calendar year. And right now it's set for 2024. You can change it to 23. And when you change it to any of the years, it will show here on the right the list of records that belong to that year. And here's a few things you can do. You, for example, can pinpoint a specific month. All you need to do is to double click on that month. Let's double click on February. It shows me all the records of February and it highlights February. Let's double click March. And it shows me the only record that exists in March. You can do exactly the same thing for weeks or for days. So for example, if I double click here on 7, week 7 shows me all the records for week 7. Or I can double click for the 27th of February. And it shows me the record. So all you need to do is to double click. Finally, you can also export. When you click on export, it opens a new window and you can choose a file name. There's only one file format, which is Excel, and you can choose the location where you want to save this file. After you made your selections, you click export and it will create a new file for you. I will not do it for now, but you can test it out when you get this file. Now let's look at monthly. As the name suggests, this is now a visualization of a specific month and all the records within that month. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the full month, and each day will have the records for that day. Now let's look, for example, at February 13th and February 11th. It says here that there's 2 contacts, but it only shows here 1. That's because right now the setting is to only show 1 item at a time. If you want to change that, you go to settings, you click on 3 items, and then when you go back, it will allow you to see multiple items. It will show you less details for each item, so it only shows the name, but you can see now multiple ones. Similarly, you can export as well, and you can change the months. Now let's look at the final one, weekly calendar. As the name suggests, this is for you to visualize the records within a specific week. And you can change the weeks here, or you can select by clicking them here as well. It will always show you a range of 5 with the selected one in the middle and then the previous 2 weeks on the left and the next 2 weeks on the right. And here you can see each column representing each day. You can see the number of items per day, and then below the list of items, in a specific case people or contacts, in each of those days. You can also export. You click export. It shows you exactly the same window. You make the selections and you click export. And then the final thing I want to show you is there's 2 things you can do as well here in settings. You can change the nomenclature for records. For example, I called it contact or contacts. But if you want to use it for events, you can just change it here for event and events. Always put the singular and the plural, as this will help you to then have a better experience in this file. And finally, you can change whichever day you want to set as the first day of the week. I use it Mondays, but if you want, you can select it for Sundays. And it will be adjusted across the entire file. And that's it. That's the Calendar Template Pro.